Up next, Parks Wreck and Roll brings you the best of 2013, from lock houses to kick flips to caterpillars. There's plenty to learn. Parks Wreck and Roll is a bi-monthly show that explores parks and recreation throughout Montgomery County. At the end of each year, we take a look back at some of our favorite segments. Last March, we took to the great outdoors. One exciting program, operated through the Canal Trust, involves sleeping overnight at a C&O Canal lock house. Check it out.
The C&O Canal Trust was established in 2007. My name is Robert Mertz. I'm a board member of the trust, and we basically are working with the park in order to promote its interests, to help with interpretive educational programs, preservation of the canal as a canal, also preservation of the towpath. The C&O Canal was started actually on July 4th, 1828. It was finished construction in 1850. It goes 184.5 miles from Georgetown in Washington to Cumberland, Maryland. The reason for building the canal was that there's a change of 605 feet in elevation between Washington and Cumberland. And there are Great Falls being the largest fall, but there are a lot of obstacles. It was the second major canal built in this country after the Erie Canal. And they have a lot of structures in this park.
Some of those structures were lock houses. These houses were for the lock keepers who collected tolls and kept records of commerce on the canal.
And the fear was that these would just collapse if there wasn't something done to protect them. What could you do to protect them that wasn't just putting in maintenance dollars, but could you use them both to preserve them and to give people a chance to understand the history of the park?
So the Canal Trust decided to allow people to stay overnight in a lock house. The funds raised would help preserve these historic buildings, and it would give the public a glimpse of what it was like to live there years ago.
Basically, you're trying to explain to the community and bring them into the park to enjoy it, to help as volunteers to protect it, to maintain it.
I'm Becky Curtis. I'm the Director of Programs and Partnerships for the C&O Canal Trust, and today we're at Lock House 25. So Canal Quarters is an interpretive, immersive experience within the park where you can register for an overnight stay. Each lock house is restored, furnished, and interprets a different time period and story in the canal's history. You can reserve for 1 to 3 nights, and to do so you'd go on canalquarters.org. From there you can choose which lock house would appeal to you most, which story, where on the canal you want to stay, and look at a calendar of dates.
Each one has been, has had a theme, an interpretive and educational theme associated with it.
We have 4 in Montgomery County. We have Lock House 6 in Brookmont, which is just a few miles out of the District of Columbia. We have Lock House 10 in Cabin John, Lock House 22 at Pennyfield Lock, which is just outside Potomac, Lock House 25 that we're at today in Edwards Ferry in Poolsville. Each Canal Quarters lock house depicts a different time period in the canal's history, and we really tried to keep the furnishings, the amenities, very similar to what you would have found as a lock keeper. So Lock House 25, the one that we're in right now, reflects the 1850s. There is no heat in this house. There is also no running water. In the more rustic lock houses like the one we're in today, the typical lock house is a 4-room house. Down here we have the dining room and living room. And upstairs we have 2 separate bedrooms. Here we are going into the basement of Lock House 25. We do have a full basement with storage capable of having your canoes and kayaks and bikes. It is quite chilly in the winter months, but in the summer this is the best heaven. We do have some that are slightly bigger, but they all sleep up to 8. So when you register for a night, for the more rustic lock houses, it's typically a couple weeks in advance and you can get your choice of date. If you're looking at lock houses 6 or 10, which are closer to the district and do have the full utilities, you typically want to look a couple months in advance. Lock House 10 shows the other end of the spectrum of what you would get in a canal quarters. It depicts the 1930s. So you do have running water, a full bathroom with a shower, which if you are a through biker on the canal is just a wonderful, wonderful thing at the end of the day. Heat and air conditioning. And it's a very different feel to it, obviously, than the 1850s, how they would have lived.
It's nice.
Great. Great, yeah. Upon first impression, it is very quaint. It's like going back in time. And I got the beard for it, so I think it should be a requirement to have a beard and stay here.
Yeah.
We did some studies about just how many people use these sorts of structures and these recreational facilities, and found that this probably would get a very substantial utilization from people, both on weekends, but also through hiking, through biking.
My name is Marcia Carlson. I'm at Lock House 10 in Cabin John, Maryland, along the C&O Canal, and I'm a quartermaster here.
Oh, wow!
So basically when you walk inside, you walk in the living room, and the furnishings are actually chosen as close to the period as possible. 1930s kitchen.
I like the fridge.
I immediately noticed the charm of the old furniture. When we opened up the cabinets, they had old-time utensils, plates.
Oh, they're really authentic. It's like fitting for the house and the time. It makes you really feel like you're living in the day.
You walk right across the bridge of the canal, and then you just go down a hill, and the Potomac's right there, and you could see it from the cabin. So it's really nice to be, you're pretty much on the water.
National Park Service historians T. Sutton Jett.
There's a plaque on the wall above one of the fireplaces with the history of the lock houses and their function on the canal.
You actually get to learn a little bit of history about the lock house, what actually went on when that was in a working lock house, and that was pretty cool to see.
There's a guest book, and this is probably the most interesting part, was we were reading through some of them. They rent out these lock houses different nights, and they bike from Cumberland. They bike all day and then stay at a lock house and then continue into their way.
This lock house is really neat, and of course I love all the lock houses, but this lock house is really neat because it is close enough to Washington, D.C. where you can bicycle into the district.
The first day when we got there, we rode our bikes down to Georgetown, and that was great. It was an easy ride. It was about 10 miles, so it was challenging, but still the path is easy. It's nice and clean. Everyone was out seeing the cherry blossoms, and we had no traffic. When we came back, we had a cookout.
We put brats on the grill and vegetables, and we sat around, told ghost stories. No, just kidding.
We roasted marshmallows, had s'mores. It was really fun.
There's no TV, so it makes it even more entertaining to come up with things to do. They leave you some games. Some of the games are 50 years old.
They had tiddlywinks. We played tiddlywinks, yeah.
The next morning we got up early and rode our bikes north to Great Falls, which was kind of nice. It was good staying at Lock House 10 because you're like right in the middle. You can either go to Georgetown or you can go to Great Falls. We brought a camera with us, and I'm really glad we did because there's a lot of cool things that we can go back and look at. Me and my fiance Natalie, we were riding our bikes along the canal up towards Great Falls. Kind of come down to where one of the parking lot is off Claire Barton Parkway, and then it's like you're kind of in West Virginia. It's nice, it's rural. There's a lot of wildlife there. We saw a blue heron in the water, and it looked like he was going to jump out into the water, so I was like, oh. So I got the camera out and started taping him a little bit, and like, I might actually get him catching a fish on camera. Like, this would be kind of cool. And then all of a sudden he dives down into the water. Oh, sweet. And he comes up with this huge fish, and he just swallows it whole. It was really cool to see. I've never seen one do that before.
Awesome. It's a good breakfast.
We stayed pretty much right in DC and Georgetown, but for much cheaper.
There's just a lot more things you can do at the Lock House as opposed to a big chain hotel.
For more info, please contact the Canal Trust at 301-714-2233 or go to canaltrust.org. Trail safety is important too, so we headed up to Seneca Creek State Park and met up with a park ranger who had some good advice to offer.
My name is Ranger Gregory. I work for the Maryland Park Service at Seneca Creek State Park, and today we're going to talk about trail safety. We recommend that you always hike with a partner. However, whether you choose to hike alone or with a partner, it's critically important that you always let someone who's not in your hiking party know where you're going and when you hope to return. Maryland state parks are trash-free. We don't have trash cans here, so if you pack it in, snack wrappers, drink canisters, etc., pack it out. Take it with you when you go.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
Got it. Thank you.
Bodies of water such as Clapper Lake make for excellent hiking destinations. However, it's not safe to swim in these lakes or to go out on the ice in the wintertime. Lakes in Montgomery County, however, are open to recreational use for boating. We have concessions over the summer, and you're welcome to bring your own boat to hand launch from our shore. Most of us carry a cell phone anyway. In case you get lost or injured, you can call emergency services from your cell phone. The cell phone is also capable of providing GPS coordinates. If you read the GPS coordinates to an emergency service personnel, it's critically important that you stay where you read the coordinates from so that when they find those coordinates, you're there waiting for them. Let's talk a little bit about what to wear when you're hiking. Layers are very important when you're hiking. You create a lot of warmth while you're hiking, but when you stop, that warmth dissipates and your sweat and the wind can make it very cold. Layers are very important for your hiking attire. I'm wearing 3 today, but synthetics are far more capable of keeping you warm and cool than cotton is. However good your layers are, your body's not going to stay warm if you don't eat. Bring snacks with you, bring water especially. Whether it's warm or cold, you don't just need the warmth, you need the energy to continue your hike. When leaving your car at any state park or trailhead, don't ever leave valuables visible in the car. Try not to bring them at all, but if you need to bring them, make sure that you hide them under a jacket or lock them in the trunk preferably. When I go running, I have a single key that I carry. I tie it to a sweatshirt hood or to a hairband, and then I don't have the keys jingling, but at the same time, the public can't access my car or my valuables. Dogs are welcome in Maryland state parks in most cases. However, they need to be leashed at all times. This is for the pet safety as well as for the safety of the public. One of many reasons that we encourage you to stay on the trail is because of poison ivy. The trails are generally clear of poison ivy. Another hazard you may encounter while you're hiking is ticks. They are less on the trail, but not completely unavoidable. Some things that you can do to eliminate your contact with ticks is to wear light clothing. They're more easily spotted on light clothing. It looks a little nerdy, but you can also tuck your pants into your socks. Whenever you go out hiking in the woods, especially in the warmer months, make sure that you check your entire body for ticks before you go to bed that night. So what are the benefits of trails and trail use? There's wildlife to be seen, there's friends to be made, there's fitness to be had, and it's overall a great thing for your outlook on life. So come join us soon on one of many trails in Montgomery County.
Our April episode focused on summer camps run through the Montgomery County Department of Recreation and the Department of Parks. Registration begins in February and continues until the first day of camp. We profiled a skate camp and a therapeutic camp, among others.
We're out here at Olney Manor Skate Park, and we offer summer camps all summer long for ages 6 to 13. Come check us out. All they need is a skateboard. We do provide rental equipment, the knee pads, elbow pads, and helmet. It is $5 per day, or you can get passes that reduce the price a little bit, and you can also get a season pass. Camp runs from 8:30 to noon every day.
We do this to have fun and help the kids improve their skating skills.
A lot of them come as beginners, so I think a lot of them just a new opportunity, new experience to try something new. Standard skateboard. I have the black stuff on here, which is called the grip tape. Silver stuff called trucks, which allows you to grind on ledges and rails and all that. These are about 51 millimeter wheels right now. Main part of the board, deck, all wood, 7-ply. And those are your parts of your skateboard. Most basic flat ground trick, the ollie. Quick ramp trick, the most basic one, rock to fakie. This is a kickflip. Gotta watch out for traffic. There you go, nice. Keep those knees bent. I think it's a great program. I think they do learn a lot. They enjoy coming here. I've been working here for a few years and I've seen a lot of kids return.
My name is Charlie Butler, and I'm with Montgomery County Recreation, Therapeutic Recreation, and I am in charge of the camp you see behind us, Camp Big Pines. A lot of the kids that we have in therapeutic recreation programs need smaller groups, a little more staff to help them get through a lot of the activities. I have been doing therapeutic recreation programming for about 30 years, so I've done kids with emotional issues, the autism spectrum, ADHD, learning disabilities. So for me, it's something where I feel like I can offer them some fun. We have aquatic classes, classes with doing things in arts and crafts. We do aerobics, we do camps, we do special events, dances.
Very nice. My name is Jackie Sweeney. I'm the director of Camp Big Pines. Wow, you are a resident superhero expert. This camp is a great place where they can work on their social skills and have staff who really understand their needs and their strengths, and they're able to work on their goals that they would have at school here at camp. So it's kind of a continuous effort, and so I think it's great that Montgomery County has these camps so that it's seamless for these kids. So they're working on all these things all year long. They just need someone to understand, their strengths and their needs and to work with them for them to be successful.
You have other kids at camp who are similar to you. How does that make you feel?
Good.
Makes you feel good?
Because most kids aren't like me.
Okay. So here at camp, everybody is accepted for who they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our June show focused on Brookside Gardens in Wheaton. There, the Wings of Fancy Butterfly show runs from May through September each year. We went behind the scenes to learn more.
Brookside Gardens gets butterflies from all around the world. When we started getting imported species, we had to enclose a section of this little office. So our receiving room here is built for us to receive our packages of pupa and hang them just in this screened-in room. So there's a protective blockade so that butterflies don't fly out into the Maryland habitat. So let's go on in. Let me unlock the door, and only authorized staff can come in. So I'm going to go on in and get started on unpacking a package of butterflies that I just got today from Florida. So you can see they come in this box wrapped, and this is in fact just toilet paper, the softest materials that the guys down in Florida could find. And they roll them up, and then we just gently unroll them and see what comes out. They had a lot of toilet paper to try to cushion them because an airplane ride up from South Florida leaves a lot of opportunities for damage. And these are buckeye pupa. Buckeyes, the caterpillar makes that pupa case, and these are pretty camouflaged. If this was out in the native habitat, the predators might not notice these barky little pupa cases. So I've been using the term pupa a lot right here in my receiving room, and that's because that's the butterfly life cycle stage that I'm working with right now. So you guys probably remember this, but these little chrysalises, these pupa, this is the caterpillar of the Atala butterfly finished feeding, stored enough energy, and then it went off and metamorphosis began when it formed this next life stage, the pupa. Oh, I've just opened up the beautiful monarch chrysalises. I'm coming to those in my package. Yeah, so you can see, these are some of the showiest North American chrysalises that we get. So the gold shininess there is thought to startle the predator, and they may run away instead of eating this wonderful little source of protein, this little meaty morsel. So each time I get a delivery, I label the board and I put a picture there so our visitors will be able to know what kind of butterfly is going to emerge from the chrysalises in that row. So I wanted to point out real quickly, each caterpillar spins a little tab of silk, and then the caterpillar sticks its tail, attaches itself from the tail end right into that silk. So this silk was spun by the caterpillar when he was ready to pupate, and now I'm going to use that silk to pin just through. I would never want to pierce the pupa case, that would damage it. So I'm pinning right through the silk that the caterpillar made there, just for me to transfer it onto the boards. You can see how we've hung the chrysalises on these boards. It really mimics the way a caterpillar leaves its host plant and then anchors in the wild. So the pupa are pinned here to hang down just like a chrysalis generally does in the wild. And then when metamorphosis is complete, you can see I had an owl butterfly emerge today. There's a swallowtail, and they're pretty active. It's time for us to get our transport cage out, and I will just move these imported species into the cage when I ensure that they're healthy and ready to fly. Then I will carry them into the flight house and release them into the butterfly house. There's one in there, and let's get this little green-winged butterfly to jump in. This nice little screen transport cage, and then ready to fly out. Let's see. Often we have to chase them in there, and then we come out here and they sit. Sometimes I can get them on a brush. Let's see, yeah, it's nice and still. What a beautiful, beautiful butterfly.
August's episode was devoted to boating and fishing. We explored a few county lakes, including Little Seneca at Black Hill Regional Park. Check it out.
Okay, we're getting ready to go board our pontoon boat, the Kingfisher, at Little Seneca Lake. This is Tina Stratura. She is our naturalist. Tina does our boat tours. She does all different kinds of nature programs, runs our summer camps. When they originally formed the town of Boyd's, it was made for the railroad, and the gentleman that formed the town, Colonel Boyd, had his farm here. And here's the old road right here for Black Hill Road. This is where you used to be able to drive through the valley, and that's the remnant of the road.
There were many farms in this area. Now they're mostly under the lake, and so we see some of these trees here. It's actually part of the original forest and farmland that was here. This is actually considered a trophy bass fishing area. It's one of the best kept secrets for largemouth bass fishing in the state of Maryland. The trees, we call them snags. They're dead, but they still provide great habitat for birds and turtles and things. We have lots of turtles here. We have red bellies, snapping turtles, painted turtles, but you'll sometimes see a whole family group on there. They all kind of congregate together because safety in numbers. Maryland has no natural lakes. This lake was filled in 1986. It's 505 acres, 5 billion gallons of water. The purpose of the lake is actually as a drinking water reservoir for the DC metro area. So what they would do would be able to open up the dam and release this water into the Potomac River down to drinking spots further down. It also helps feed a trout stream 4 miles down Little Seneca Creek. The lake is fed by 3 creeks, so the lake kind of looks like a big W. It's a great resource for all kinds of wildlife. Oh, there's a buck. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Wow, that's amazing. Sharp chin hawk right there. There's the kingfisher too, flying right up there. A really neat little bird. It's a killdeer. Yep, 2 killdeers. Yep, they're a shorebird typically. There's some Canada geese up here, and this is a family. The smaller ones are this year's young. We see so many incredible birds here because of the resource of the water as they're traveling. They oftentimes take a stop here or they'll spend the whole winter, which is really neat. Black Hill offers, of course, boats that are for rent.
Have you guys ever done the rowboat before?
That was our first time.
Really?
Yeah, we're crazy about it.
Well, we're looking for activities for our family, and so with the playgrounds and the lake, the kids love it.
And the Black Hill Nature programs, we do kayak lessons, kayak excursions, and kayak camps. When you pay a fee for our nature program, not only do you get instruction and guidance, but the equipment also comes with it. So it means you can get the kayak, the PFD, and our paddles and our safety equipment come with it, as long as a ACA certified instructor. So you can rent boats and go out on your own, or you can do a program with the Black Hill Nature programs as well. We do a fair number of bat and beaver tours. The beaver lodge can actually rise and fall dependent on the water level. You'll see all the sticks they've stacked on top, and tours to see our eagles, which are residents here on the lake, and also ecology studies as well. As you can see, we have a lot of really colorful boats out here, and these are actually private boats that people can moor here throughout the season. We typically start selling mooring sites in February. They're very popular, so we recommend that people come to the visitor center at Black Hill in February as early as they can, because the really prime spots go pretty quickly. You can also bring your boat and use one of 2 boat ramps. Smile. This is Dave. He's one of our volunteer boat captains. We have 3 volunteer boat captains, and they're such a tremendous resource. And we're also looking for more folks that might have boat driving experience that would want a volunteer opportunity working with a boat on the lake. We are going to have a group from a nursing home. They love to be outdoors. Pontoon boat is a really wonderful addition to our fleet here, because we're able to take people that might not be able to get into a kayak or a canoe. There we go. Bye. To be seated protected, secure, and safe, and be able to enjoy the great outdoors and the lake.
Well, that's it for this best of edition of Parks Rec and Roll. Thanks for watching.